We're backstage at the Electric Picnic 2013, and Swords have dropped in. You've been you're looking remarkably well preserved for a band who've been at well, maybe you're not so much, but the rest of you are for a band who've been at the Electric Picnic for the weekend.
We've got that before, right?
Yeah.
We got ready for coming up to you, but I think we had a hard enough night of it last night, so.
Ian's our resident rock and roller, so he is.
Well, things have been pretty busy for you recently because you've just released your debut album, Lions and Gold, which is releasing a debut album is a big thing. I'm not a musician. I'm not likely to be releasing an album. Not that anyone's going to want to hear anyway. But it must be a fairly pleasing experience, if not a touch worrying.
It's kind of everything. I think it's really pleasing to have it released and finished, and it's like a really interesting process. But it's a huge project to undertake for us. It was anyway, the first album, because there's a lot to learn, as you go along and as you record and stuff. So
it's a pretty diverse sound you have on there as well, because it's definitely not one thing. I'm not saying all albums are one thing, but you certainly have people you have people guessing what's coming next, which is always a good thing, I guess. Yeah. Does that kind of pretty much reflect the three personalities in the band?
I think it does, but then it also reflects the fact that it's our debut album after being together for 2+ years or whatever, and so it's a kind of honest collection of everything that we've done from that kind of period, kicking off the band to producing the album, so there's songs there that were there from the very beginning, and then there's songs that were written a month before we went in to record, so it's just a really honest kind of take on where we are now as a band, and that progression, so yeah.
Yeah, we even kind of fought a little bit to try and pull the things together, because like what Jarlath was saying, 1 month we could have been writing something that sounded pretty dancey, or 6 or 7 months later we might have been writing something that was more organic sounding. But even after fighting to get them all together, we knew it was really diverse, but we just embraced it.
Yeah, but is that not the whole fun of music, that you kind of just write what you write, and you just hope it kind of has some sort of
cohesion,
yeah, exactly, thank you.
Yeah.
No, but again, I go back to it. I've never written a song, but it all seems to be like bands should just write songs, not worry about too much. Oh, does it conform with what else?
Genres are for iTunes, really, isn't it? So they can classify certain bands together, and so people can go in. If you like a band, you can choose a band that sounds similar. But realistically, bands are kind of genre-less, or they should be, because they should kind of write whatever is honest to them in that one moment, or sounds really one moment in time.
It's a bunch of people writing songs together, and that's what it should sound like, I think, instead of this kind of overly thought out 12 songs with the same theme,
Well, I guess you don't want one kind of Mussolini or whatever type maybe not particularly good example, but one bossy person in the band would just strike the Mussolini reference.
We'd get a good crowd of Mussolini in there, though, I'd say. We'd pull a good crowd,
Well, speaking about crowds, you've toured a bit since the album's been released. Is doing a festival somewhat different, because perhaps it's maybe not your own crowd?
Yeah, but I think that's what we really like about it, because you get a chance to play to people who might not have heard of you or might not have come to see you before or heard the album, so it's just a whole new audience that you can play for, and there's something really liberating about playing for a totally mixed group. Like, we played at the Body and Soul, and it's just loads of people sitting around kind of having a few cans, and it's quite nice to play to a really different type of crowd. And
some of them don't know you, some of them won't remember even being here
exactly.
Watching you. But look, guys, congratulations on the album. Thanks so much for dropping in.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
May you have many more albums in you, and a greatest hits tour at some point in the future would be
That's
good.
the next album.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Dan. Cheers.